Welcome to Women Rising. I'm Catherine Taylor. Last year, I had the opportunity to film a number of interviews with women entrepreneurs across the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. And one of those interviews was with Olivia Pinho, who is the owner of Amplified Social. Well, we're going to have a look at that, and we're also going to meet her employee, Gaby, and learn all about the business of social media. As well, I took an opportunity to visit the trade show floor where I spoke with Heather Sadowy, and Heather works with the Women's Organization Enterprises of Canada. And I also spoke with MacDonald of College of the North Atlantic. But first, we're going to hear from Olivia Pinho. Welcome back from the trade show floor to our set. I want to introduce you to someone who understands social media and has made a business from it. Please meet Olivia Pinho of Amplified Social. Olivia, so good to see you
again. Good to see you. Love being here with you.
I love being with you, and that's obvious because I've done your course and I'm one of your students and devotees. But for people who are sitting out there and go, why would someone have a business in social media? How do they do that? What do you do?
So I do social media marketing for small businesses. So Amplified has kind of two sides of the business. The first is coaching and education. So that's where I teach business owners kind of how to manage it on their own, especially if maybe they're a smaller team just getting started or just getting started with social media. I help them from everything from strategy to the content creation process to how to monitor their posts and optimize their channels. And then we have another side of the business, which is social media management, which is what you'd see from a typical digital marketing agency. So, you know, when you're ready to outsource your social media management to a team, that's when you come to us and we kind of do everything for you.
I love the part where you say we kind of do everything for you. That is certainly the ideal situation, yes. But it's not where everyone is exactly. When they start out. And I'm not sure that everyone understands exactly how strategic and effective social media can be, and I think that's where many business owners go off track. I've been there, as you know. However, let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of directives, or how do you guide people into this world?
Yeah, so kind of like you just said, like when you really need to have a strategy in place. It can be very strategic. I think people have a misconception about social because we use it like on a daily basis ourselves. For the most part, most people are on social media, so I think they feel like it should come easier as a business owner. You know, when you start a business, oh, I'll do an Instagram post or Facebook post here and there, and it ends up just not being as easy as you thought. And so what typically ends up happening is there's no strategy in place, and that's when the inconsistency happens, and people are just not really sure like what to post, when to post, getting, you know, everything so that you're not missing any holes in your strategy and things like that. So to your point, like having the strategy piece for your social media marketing, for your content creation, is going to be your overarching guide to everything, and that's how you become more consistent and over time, you know, build a following and get traction on social media for your products and services.
Olivia, I totally love how you strategize about that, because what I learned in working with you was to take a social media feed from being a feed to all of a sudden looking like a marketing product. And I wonder if people really think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, everybody's a little different in their ideals and what they want their like Instagram feed to look like. Some are really, you know, they really kind of obsess over that, and others just want to kind of get content up. And something that you and I have been talking about, and something I talked about in my presentation today, is just making sure that you're posting with purpose, right? So it doesn't need to be this super aesthetic feed, but your posts need to have purpose and meaning. If you're going to be promoting your business and promoting your products and services, we want to make sure that each post that you're putting out there is optimized for your business, so that there's some sort of goal behind it. And that can be simple, so whether it's just like trying to gain awareness about my brand, or trying to you know, educate my audience on what I speak about, or maybe it's to sell, you know, your product or service. Just having an idea and a purpose behind it will just, not only will it help keep everything organized, but it will also make it easier and better for the viewer and for your audience too.
And that is so true. Once you have that, it flows so much better. And I think Because we just jumped into social media, there you were figuring it out. Let's go back, let's rewind a little bit back in time. When you started this, what was the environment like as compared to now?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I technically launched Amplified in September of 2018. You know, I did my little Facebook post with the logo that I had at the time. Back then I was doing freelance social media marketing is what I was doing. I had a business name, but I was a complete freelancer. So I was going around to local businesses here in St. John's, taking photos, taking videos, and posting it to their, you know, to their feeds, to their stories, things like that. On a daily basis, I was kind of going around and seeing my clients. In March of 2020, I lost all my in-person clients in one day. So all of my income just completely went away, but it was a blessing in disguise, absolutely, because I was able to pivot to a virtual model, and that's when I started offering the coaching and education and the social media management as well. Now you asked about like how it's different, you know, now than it was then. So back then it was things were less saturated, for one thing. So it was important to have photos and videos on your feed, on your stories that were good quality. So those kind of things stayed the same, but the content was a little bit different because we didn't have Reels, we didn't have some other features that are available now, more specifically like Reels and TikTok didn't exist at the time when I first started freelancing. So now a lot of my clients and a lot of the work we do is very Reels focused, it's very video focused, but also it's almost like going back to basics a little bit. I think we, for a little while, were obsessing over like how, like I just said about the feed and how things look and everything like that. Really what I like to do is like simplify things and just ensure that people have the right message and that they're creating the right forms of content. And again, just going back to that purpose and meaning behind your posts.
And innovate.
Yes.
These companies are innovating. We're getting comfortable with one thing and then we have Reels and then it moves on, and that's not going to stop. I would see your business as being a very evolving business.
So it's interesting you say that. Yes, it is evolving, and we continue to have to stay on top of the trends and things like that. I'm lucky that that's always kind of came pretty easily to me in terms of I'm pretty good with technology. I'm able to catch on quickly, but I think what's made Amplified successful in the ever-evolving digital space is that we stick to the core beliefs and the core strategies that work across any platform, any format, anything. And that's really just like basic marketing skills of what the cycle is, how do people buy, you know, giving value, you know, above all else, giving people a reason to follow you. And I find with any type of form of content, or, you know, whether it be Reels or whatever else comes out in the future, if we go back to those core strategies and things that are proven to work, then everything, even though it's evolving, it always kind of goes back to that, and that's kind of what's been successful
Nice.
for
Your
us.
baseline is
Yes.
the marketing.
Yeah.
Where we all begin.
Yes, exactly.
If, Olivia, you were able to participate here as a presenter and share your knowledge with all the participants here, how was that for you? And I guess I want to ask you a little bit, the NLOWE, the Newfoundland and Labrador Organization of Women Entrepreneurs, what that means to people and your involvement with them, what they've been to you.
So NLOWE has been absolutely amazing to me, and I remember, so when my business went virtual, I was still really new to business, and I think a lot of us, and by right, you know, you feel like I'm not good enough, or you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be involved in this, or I'm not, you know, real enough of a business to be involved with these organizations. I think I felt like that for a long time, and I would say to people, don't feel like that. Like, these organizations want to help you and they want to get you started, and I think I hesitated for a long time to partner with organizations and reach out to them out of fear. But once I did, I remember speaking to one of the NLOWE reps that I knew from another area of life, and she had asked me to do a virtual workshop in partnership with NLOWE, and the first time I did that, I just absolutely fell in love with it, and it was also really validating for me to be asked to do that, and ever since then I've partnered with the NLOWEs and all the organizations kind of around the province to deliver trainings to business owners, which is exactly like my market, and exactly my niche and exactly what my passion is. So the organization has been so good to me and really helped me get my name out there more and more. And in the presentation room today, there was a lot of people that I had never met in person, but that have done my programs. And we were lucky to have actually met each other in person prior to this, but to see people in person that have done it and just meet them and just Yeah, it has been really a really special experience for me because that's what I love to do is to hear people's stories and, share their goals
Wow.
and things like that.
It's always a pleasure to talk with Olivia Pinho, and she always has such great down-to-earth advice for managing your social media. But I know someone else who has the same kind of advice. Her name is Gaby Onita, and she works at Amplified Social in St. John's, and we're going to speak with her now. Hi, Gaby, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for
I'm
having
doing
me.
well, thank you. And I've introduced you as a social media, let's say expert, but certainly a guide. Why don't you tell us all about what you do at Amplified Social?
Yes, of course. So, I am one of the digital marketing specialists at Amplified Social, and I am the one working directly with our clients. So, I help them with content strategy, social media management, community management. So, everything to get their content out in public and to make sure that their branding and what they want to put on socials is very accurate and that they're happy with and that also reaches the right audience. So that's pretty much what I help with, and we also have projects, so I also help with like website overhauls, brandings, email newsletters, so all that. So it's
You
a
do it
very
all.
broad role. Yes.
Gaby, what kind of background do you bring to a job like that?
Honestly, you just have to be someone that's open to work in a fast environment, first of all, because social media is always changing. And what is trending today is not trending tomorrow. So it's something very changing really fast. But also just someone that is creative, that's good with listening to people and being able to help people and also bring value
And
to
I
our
would think,
audience.
Gaby, you would guide them somewhat because if people out in the marketplace many times feel so overwhelmed by social media, they feel they should be there, they want to be there, and then
Yeah.
just maintaining that steady presence really does require someone to hold our hands. But what kind of things do you hear from clients?
So one of the main concerns that I hear is that they're overwhelmed. Like they don't know where to start. First of all, they know they have to be on social, but they don't know how. They don't have the time. They don't know what to do. And it's not the same as having a personal brand, like a personal social media account. This is more intentional, and there has to be a strategy. There's a different messaging. You need to guide your audience to take action after with what you're posting. So that's where we come in and we take that stress off their shoulders and we do the strategy. We make sure that their audience is that what we're creating is specifically for their audience. And we always ask our clients, what are the your customers' pain points? So like
Mm-hmm.
what are you trying to solve, what kind of value you're trying to give to your client, to your customers, and based on that we create content. So we
Mm-hmm.
create like pillars where we can then we look at trends, and with those trends how can we solve our clients customers issues and problems. So that's how we create content and how we help them, and most of them don't really have the time or want to be doing social media. That's like not top of their priorities, so that's how we help.
Mm-hmm. And when you're using some of those words like pillars and pain points, those are very familiar with me because I did do a course with Olivia and we talked about those things. And
Yes.
pillars, certainly it's trying to help companies identify maybe 5 points that they want to bring out. And I love your point, Gaby, a call to action. I think so often that's where companies can drop the ball. They think it's just to show we had an event or to be out there, but the purpose really is call to action for their clients.
Yes, it's everything that we're posting at the end of the day has a purpose. It's not random, and it's not just about posting every single day either. It's about having a strategy and being consistent, but
Mm-hmm.
always going back to what we offer, how we can help you, and just we understand what you're struggling with and we want to help. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the main thing about social media and why strategy is very important.
And the consistency part is so true, because we can start off in our businesses posting, and then all of a sudden, oh, there's a crisis over here. I can't focus on social media. I have to put, so this, I feel, this is where a support organization like Amplified Social can be so helpful in directing strategically what you're doing. What are some of the most, I guess, effective ways that companies can work with you? Do they have to bring you photographs, or can you talk a little bit about that?
So yes, so we guide them. The way we work with our clients is that we talk to them, we ask them everything about their business. We want to really be part of their business. We don't want to be an agency that's just mass creating content and it's not focused on a specific niche. So we want to really be part of your business and know what you're trying to show to your clients. So we guide them to create content. We tell them how specifically to record something, or to collect specific photos and things like that that we will use to make content. And if they can't do that, we will come to their businesses and take in-person content for them. So we adapt to whatever the situation is, and we help them that way.
That sounds great, because there are some people, of course, who would be more comfortable with this type of thing, and some people who would need more guidance. The one thing when we chatted, Gaby, that I really enjoyed was finding out a little bit about you. You're a new Canadian. You're new to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and that journey began in your home country of El Salvador. Can you talk a little bit about that, how you ended up in Newfoundland and Labrador? It's such a great story.
So it was very interesting because I was about to graduate from high school, and MUN Memorial came to my school, and they gave a presentation, and they were offering this co-op program at MUN, and I wanted to do a business degree with marketing, and that was like the perfect program for me. So I was super interested. I moved all the way here, and I really liked the co-op program because I am not from here. So I didn't have any Canadian experience, but I wanted to study and also gain some experience. And that was such a good program for me and very appealing. So that's the reason why I moved here. And now being here, I love the community. I love how warm everyone is. And it's so nice. Like in Amplified, we work with mostly Newfoundland based companies. And it feels everyone's so warm, and I really like that, and everyone's so close as well. So it's been great. So
well, that's good. How did you, coming out of El Salvador, how did you find popping into a very colloquial English language community? Were you fluent in English at the time?
At the time, I knew English, but I wasn't fluent that much. I did spend some time in residence, so I had the chance to meet new people from different cultures and from different countries, and it was good the language that we all speak is English, so it was a great exposure, and I just wanted to know as much as I could about this culture, but also different cultures, and it was fun. You adapt as you go, and it's been great since then.
It's pretty amazing. All right. Well, how did you respond to let's say your first iceberg? I'm assuming you've seen one.
It was pretty impressive, and I've also seen whales that I never thought I would see. So I also had I was here for Snowmageddon, so things like that I honestly didn't think I was gonna see in my life. It's been a very unique experience, and I also invited my parents here to see them, so that was also really cool. But yeah, I love it. It's so different for us because we don't have any snow back home.
No.
But now that I work remote, I get to be here and also go back to my country, and I have best of both worlds. So
It
it's nice.
sounds pretty amazing. And you were quite young when you came, you were 19, and it's wonderful. You must have a great spirit of adventure, because to go all the way from your family to another part of the world, and look where you are now, you're with an amazing company. And I want to come back to that again, Gaby. You're working, the person at the head of your company is a woman, and you mentioned that you were enjoying the environment of working in a female-led company. Do you want to talk about that just for a moment?
Yes. So I did notice the difference. There is a very welcoming and very empowering um, part of it. I feel like Olivia, she's such a great boss, and I love her so much. She's always giving us the opportunity to have leadership in whatever we're doing, and it has been very. I've been able to grow so much in like such a short amount of time in my role, and to try new things because of her leadership. But it's been mostly because um, it's just the way we like the way it works for us, and I really like the support. It's
Mm-hmm.
been very supportive, and I feel super empowered in this area. So
Yeah,
it's
the
been nice.
culture, I find often in terms of work that I do, I have heard before, not just from you, that women-led businesses sometimes have a little different approach to things, and it's refreshing to
Mm.
hear. Now, you're here in St. John's, you get to go home sometimes, and you're working with Olivia. It's wonderful. I just want to wish you all the best, and thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time to come on and talk about your role. Any last quick piece of advice, if there was one thing you would ask people to do with their social media, do you have anything in mind?
Yes, to not overwhelm, to just be yourself, tell your story, be authentic, and to not be afraid to ask for help.
There you go. That is a good call to action, Gaby. Olivia will be very proud of you for that comment. Now, folks, we're going to take a look at the trade show floor at the NLOWE convention with Heather Sadowy and in MacDonald. Hi, Heather.
Hi, thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah, so tell me, you're here representing WEOC. What are you wanting to do today?
Yeah, so WEOC, or the Women's Enterprise Organizations of Canada, it's a mouthful, and we are a national sort of umbrella organization for groups like NLOWE across the country. And we have a national loan program that we launched a year and a half ago or so. So it's a loan program for women entrepreneurs to start or grow their business, loans in any amount up to $50,000. And here in Newfoundland, our partner is NLOWE, so entrepreneurs would work with their advisors at NLOWE to access our loan program.
What is the biggest takeaway for you that you hear from women entrepreneurs?
I think so far, WEOC just had our first annual summit last week in Toronto, and we did have some folks there who had already accessed the program. And really the feedback that we hear is just that because of our accessible requirements, people are finding for the first time they're actually being listened to a little bit more than some of the banks that see them as just a number, just a set of numbers on a form. So we try to get to really know the women behind the business and their business plan and kind of everything that goes with it. So people are just feeling like they're being heard for maybe the first time and really taken seriously with our program.
Well, thank you, Heather, for sharing that, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're not going to stop here. We're going to continue on up and see who else we can visit. Well, we've cozied on down the aisle, and we are at the C&A booth, and we're going to talk to In MacDonald and find out all about why he's here. Tell us, In.
Yeah, thank you very much. So CNA recently launched an entrepreneurship initiative about 2 years ago now, and it's focused on supporting CNA students, alumni, faculty, and staff start a business, grow a business, whatever stage they're in, we're there to help.
Well, and you have a pretty nifty little set here. What's going on here?
Yeah, so one of the activities we're running is a podcast. So it's called Best in the Biz, and it's talking business with CNA entrepreneurs. So you come, you talk about your business, tons of great stories, tons of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs, and that's what it's all about. It's trying to inspire new CNA entrepreneurs.
And how is it taking off for CNA? Because I feel it's wonderful to hear that this is the direction we're going in. The province needs it. How's it growing?
Oh, it's been fantastic so far. So, as you may or may not know, CNA has 17 campuses across the province, 15 here on the island, and 2 up in Labrador. So, there's tons of different campuses all across the province. Rural Newfoundland, we have some in St. John's, some in Corner Brook, Stephenville. So, we're all over. And the Entrepreneurship Initiative has been going fantastic. So, we've had about 15 workshops to date, which have all been very well attended, most of them online due to our 17 campuses. It's hard to do anything in person when you're trying to reach everyone, of course. We've had the podcast, so we have 2 seasons available on Spotify, Google Podcast, YouTube, pretty much wherever you listen to your podcast, we're on it. So that's the podcast. We have a mentorship program, and we're just looking to start with some entrepreneurship competitions. So those will be at different campuses all across the province, and it's for students, and it'll be for them to get some funding for some business ideas.
And that's how it all starts, and who knows where it goes. But we are here where there is just so much activity, so many ideas. Thank you so much, Ian.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Women Rising. When it comes to social media, we all have a lot of questions. It's a very dynamic area of business, and trying to keep up with it, it's constantly changing. But it's good to know that there are companies and organizations out there that can bring their experience and help and guide us through these social enterprises. And also, if you enjoyed the show and you're enjoying the series, I'm always welcoming feedback. You can do that by reaching out to me on Instagram or Facebook at Catherine Taylor Media, and also my YouTube channel, Catherine Taylor TV, Catherine Taylor Media. All these shows are hosted there, and you can watch them again. I certainly do welcome your comments and feedback. So thank you for being part of the audience, and thank you for sharing your ideas with me. Have a great day, and we'll see you again on Women Rising.